Also order the May Board of Trustees meeting for the Hamilton East Public Library. I think yes, I will take a motion to approve tonight's agenda. So moved. Second?
Second.
Okay, moving on to comments from the public. We have Mr. Sutherland here that we will call in just a moment. Okay, well, thank you. Regarding the consent motion to approve
Second.
Second. All right. No items were to the consent agenda. This one. Yes, I will do that. Calling for a vote on the agenda. Back up here, number 2. Okay, approval of the agenda. Let's do a vote. Those in favor, say aye. Any opposed? So passed. Consent agenda, do we need to take that one? We can take that one. Going back to the consent agenda, we have a motion and seconds. Those in favor, say aye. Okay. Any opposed? Consent agenda passed. Nothing removed, so we will move on to a discussion of the new library director compensation. In order to begin the discussion, we have a motion to approve the library director compensation. Second. Okay, discussion regarding the library director compensation. We have decided to hire Melissa Quizell at a salary of $135,000 annually, which is well within the salary range for the position. And we authorize, as we did authorize the Director of Work, Craig CD, to work with John and HR to put together a benefits package that also included negotiated PTO, a pool of 8.5 hours of PTO bi-monthly, in addition to a one-time lump sum of 80 PTO hours that was PTO. Any discussion? Questions? Okay, we'll move to a vote. Those in favor, say aye. Any opposed? And passed. Thank you, Melissa and John. All right. We do have a special guest, as I mentioned a moment ago. Mr. Jeff Steffel is a guest with us who would like to address the board about a special donation to the library. So, Mr. Steffel, please.
Here.
You can go to the podium.
Yes. Am I on? I don't. Yes. Sound there. Real quickly, just my background. My great-parents settled in Louisville in 1922. They owned a men's clothing store for 63 years. Around the corner was Dixon Music Studio, so that's where Susie comes in. And myself being the PE, she was the PI. So that was very good because I was always in the end and said I was laughing. So in 2000, I went to work for 2002. I went to work with the Noble Daily Times. And at that time, I started doing a weekly full-page historical page on different buildings, different businesses, all kinds of things on Hamilton County. And so one of the things I did was the Noblesville Public Library at the beginning. And it's a wonderful story about how women in Noblesville empower themselves. Because back in the early years, the men were working and wives saying, hey, you got the phone, but the wives got together and did this. And it's just a wonderful story about how the women got a library in Noblesville and later the Carnegie Library came along. And, this is back in the days when Joe Burris was our county historian before David. So I just wanted to, get a copy frame of the history of the library and just wanted to present it to the board. And hopefully you can hang it somewhere in an overflow library. So I did 2 years of this. So there's like 105 different episodes or different pages. And the library had the complete set of Remember When. And I was doing research during the Bill a few months ago, and asked the young librarian there if I had any for a copy of Remember When, you want talking about. She did. So you got all the copies there somewhere. Maybe one of these days you can dig them out and show, so people can look at it. But this is just an example, and I've got other examples. I can email somebody if you want to do some kind of a story or whatever, but this is what I want to present to the board. And I look at this, kind of an outline, kind of background of the page or whatever. If you have to put something in the paper, if you don't have. My request is that this not be hidden on a column up in the Indiana room. Maybe it could be somewhere where women, the young girls could see it, because it is inspiring for women and girls. And it's probably painting spark effect, I think.
Thank you so
Well,
much.
thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to our next item, we have the renovation project update with Kevin McCurdy.
So I'm gonna skip the item while I'm learning and say every day, we made a really cut in, that was really great, yeah. That was really great to see with all this law that it feels like, everybody is gone for, there's a moment where calling people, seeing everybody here and enjoying the space outside. That was great to see yesterday, and actually, I was telling you, my favorite thing to see is nonprofit, not even moving to back, seeing people activate the space and use it, and even in ways you didn't think about. I mean, that tiered seating out there, we thought of seating presentation. So to see it kind of lined up different events, the cornhole going on, and the checkers, like that part kind of makes it all worthwhile. All the machine to get to the end and be able to save things. So congratulations. In terms of what's going on here, probably the only other big thing to point out is there was some correspondence back and forth on the code official today. So I think we've resolved all of the outstanding questions, and it sounds like response to June 7th that will be a yes or no. The questions were very simple to, and I mean, the classification is kind of frustrating because it's on the document, but I really need to put it on this one too. Okay, and the other one, they needed to see the egress systems of the life safety plan, which were already coming out that information. Then they, so we're not expecting any problems to come out of that, given the simplicity of the being passed. But they're going to take 10 days if they do to respond, which would be June 7th. Other than that, I think we got, just outstanding closeout things to deal with. I mean, there's getting closeout out, much list items, just all the things back here. I think the only other thing is probably a bigger item would be the last piece of major markets in the children's area. I mean, people forward to that aspect. I mean, like short there is more of a surface touch, and I think that'll actually melt into the children's area. Other than that, are there any questions about pictures that anybody has? And then in terms of Noblesville, unless Molly or Melissa can tell me something different, since I got a text, maybe if something came up today. It's on track to be done by all, which is kind of what we talked about in the lab. So I think it's just all the moving parts to go along with the project. Got some stages to it. And then I think CRDC over the year in 2 Saturdays. Part of it, I'm looking forward to and actually the opportunities and things. So other than that, I don't know if there's anything to really dig into other than go check that. CRGC.
Kevin, there's really no question. Just to talk about buildings and grounds, a meeting later, we know what we're going to deal with.
Well, I think at that one, well, several committees, we need to just have general updates, and then at that one, we hope to have, maybe some, we need just some discussion around wrapping up some of the construction projects.
And I would say as much as anything, in the way that this is only superficial, but it's getting out of the hot, they're probably into digging in. We typically brought that committee up to speed that, 2 months or so, that way there's something we need to deal with, it's now catching up. So I think it did a good point in time, so we understand where we are on budgets, where we are on schedules, what are those closeout items. I can anticipate dealing with some of the new ones, doing a little deeper dive, getting them to be able to speak on those. But there's nothing that's
Any other questions or discussion? Okay, thank you, Kevin.
thank you. Have a good holiday weekend.
Do the same. Moving on to the next agenda item, Spark Fishers closures. So in order to start this discussion, we have a motion to self closure.
We approve the plans, published materials.
Okay, so regarding the Spark Fishers Festival and the City of Fishers across the library, so Melissa, would you like to cover that?
Sure, so the city of Fishers asked that we close on Saturday, due to the immense traffic that will be around here, and then also they would like to use our parking lot for ADA, compliant parking, and then also, we will be having, in the south lot, there is going to be, the teen activities are going to be set up, so our south lot will be in use. We do anticipate keeping this east entrance open and staffed so that people can use our restrooms, and then we're gonna have, people who are library staff who are working, and then some of the vendors will have access to using one of our meetings.
Have there been days in the past or years in the past where others are meeting?
I think a long time ago when it was over at Holland, if anyone's been, I still remember that. So I don't think we didn't close then. And then we didn't add it to our list this year because we anticipated that with the move, like adding the parking lot over here, we would be able to stay open. But listening to the city and some of the plans, that it just doesn't seem feasible. What we're hoping next year is that we can maybe do some kind of activity within the library that's part of the festival, so that we can be open, and it'll be a slightly different capacity. Like that's our plan for next year, but that the library will be part of the festival moving forward.
Okay, I will call for a vote to accept closure. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Committee meeting scheduling, Melissa has requested that we schedule some meetings for the committees and committee buildings and grounds and already committee as well as the new ones. Yeah, next week. So Melissa's asked that we email her soon any planned vacations or conflicts you might have for the months of June and July, so if you can send out the schedule, excuse me, so that we can schedule those committees. So if everyone can do that, we get those to Melissa in the next week, by this time next week.
Yeah.
Okay, so if everyone get those to Melissa by close of business next Thursday.
Let's hold June, July.
Yes. That way I know not to add any dates during those.
Right, during those blocks. Well, thank you for coordinating. We are moving on to the owner's rep selection. So, before we begin discussion on this item, would anyone like to propose a motion to proceed with one of the vendors for, our owner's rep, which would relate to the potential building of the proposed one for, and so we would require their services to begin that process.
I would like to move that we go with fairness for the process. I really felt like it was a comprehensive plan and demographics done in-house, which I.
Let's do a second. Any discussion?
I spoke to some people from Westville. I also spoke to some people from Hartland. About two different and I got favorable. But I got really favorable. Westville project, public library, as well as some specifics that they had given me about how happy they were in there. So that's pretty fun.
I feel like I've been very decisive as a board member. In the 2 years been here. 19 months. However those go, you both need to know that. You know, as I talk with my colleagues in the hall about which one to go with. Unless it goes terribly, be fine. And that was what's different. Ultimately. Jason. It's like.
I agree. I sit on the long range planning committee, so both groups present viewpoints and was impressed by their pitch and their consistency, and both groups really know who they are. They represent. I too heard from some people in Noblesville, who reached out to me specifically about Paradise and their participation projects around Hamilton County. And so I do give this light edge to them as well. Thank you both. I know we have representatives here. Yes, I was just looking around. Any other comments?
I wasn't here for the second one, so I can't really. The first events.
I think we're ready for a vote. So those in favor of hiring a various group as English rep, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, we'll proceed. Thank you and congratulations, Paradise. Thank you, JSL. Director's report, Melissa, if you have us.
Sure, all right, so just, go over some of the things, just to tell you and let the community know, we have issued an RFP for cleaning services. It is available on the website. We also were honored to, do the plaque dedication for Detective Polk. And the mayor came and spoke, and representatives from the police department, and we're honored to have a memorial tree for her. Her mother did say that, so the tree used to be over here, and then during construction it was moved, and so her mother said that she would often go sit by the tree, and she's looking forward to being able to do that again. So it was very. A huge congratulations to our marketing team, and I don't think they're not here tonight, but Kelsey and Jane did a great job all the time, and they submitted some of their work to one of the ALA awards, and they won the award. And Kelsey was already planning to be out at the ALA conference, so she's going to be able to accept the award in person. So we're very proud of them, and that's the specific item that they won for was the design for the annual report from 2022. So they did a great job. We also, in our youth services department, we are revamping our homeschooling. So the children's department has been doing some roundtables with homeschool parents, offering childcare so the parents can come and talk and participate while their children are being entertained by library staff so that we can get some feedback, so that we can offer some, figure out what programs we want and need to offer it's a huge growing, we've always had a large homeschool population here, but nationwide, it's a growing population, so just making sure that we're providing services that are wanted and needed. The local author fair we had that in April, and we had a very good turnout. And as somebody who remembers when the local author fair was started, just like where it started and where it is now, it's just incredible to me. And I think the authors were very appreciative, and it was a really cool event, and lots of people from the were there, and I think we had a comment at the last board meeting, about how great this event was. So the staff do a good job. Danielle specifically organizes that and just does a really good job. She's done a good job growing that program. We are getting ready to launch Propio, which is a translation platform, and the City of Fishers Health Department introduced us to this. So it's something that they use with patrons or with their clients. And we're excited to use it in the library, but then also out at food pantries. We have a lot of, we'll be able to use it out there, so that we have a lot of people who do not speak English, and so we'll be able to communicate about library services at those events. So that is being launched, and staff are being trained, and we're excited about that. And then the public art sculpture, which you can all see outside, which we had the ribbon cutting for, was installed, and it was fun to watch them do it. There was a crane who had it was incredibly precise, and it was fun to watch it being installed, and then having all of the tiles are finally installed, so it's just a lovely plaza. If you haven't had a chance, then I encourage everyone to walk from the Nickel Pig Trail all the way over. The art was lovely, so. And if anyone was not aware, the name of the giant sculpture is called Knowledge. That is the name of that project therapy. So, and those were some of the main highlights from the last month. So I'd be happy to take any questions.
No questions? Okay. Anything else? Do we have any other old or new business to discuss? We do not. Okay, well, I would call for a motion to adjourn.